But Scott with a queen jack of spades.
I'm a little surprised Scott didn't move in pre-flop. They're just over 30 blinds deep. Queen jack suited is a very good all-in hand. Instead, he elects to call, and both players flop big on king jack 7-2 spades.
4 flush for Scott and the jacks, and a 6 on the turn. Now that gives open-ended for FARAZ as well, but this could get very expensive. Here's a bet. 800,000 by Scott, who's out in front with the jacks and the 4 flush.
Surprising check behind from FARAZ on the flop. Of course, he will continue now on the turn, and he will drill a straight on the river.
Unbelievable. No spade, but just the perfect card for FARAZ Jaka, hitting it straight. And he's got Scott betting. Wow. 1,650,000.
I do like this bet from Scott. In many cases, your jack is going to be good, and this is a nice way to get thin value. But we are staring FARAZ and his straight in the face, so let's see how much he wants to play for.
10 seconds for FARAZ.
Call in.
He wants it all. He wants it all. Now the question is, will he get called?
Scott lets it go.
Yeah.
Second pair, no good facing that all in. FARAZ finds the card he needs on the river. Takes down a nice pot to start off this heads-up match.
Certainly does. Just too much heat, but the perfect card on the river for FARAZ Jaka. The blinds are now up to 2 and 400 with a 50,000 ante. Winner's going to take home close to 700,000 here tonight. Scott is just calling with his 5-4. And FARAZ has a pretty solid king 10. He is going to move it up, makes it a total of 1.3 million. And Scott has to say goodbye.
Yep, Scott folding his junky 5-4 on the button. So FARAZ wins the first 2 hands of heads up.
It's getting on a little bit of a roll. That's what you need to do. Get hot at the right time. Will it be the night for FARAZ Jaka to be a WPT champion? This time, he's going to look down at a 7-5.
And now FARAZ will complete on the button. Scott checks 10-5 in the big.
Flop is a king 7-8, so 7s for FARAZ. Nothing for Scott.
Yeah, just some backdoor draws for Scott here. But FARAZ in the lead with bottom pair, checks this back. Turn is a 9. So Scott open-ended to the 10. FARAZ with bottom pair and a gut shot to the 6, though were he to hit it, Scott would have the higher straight. Scott betting 650,000 into FARAZ, who will make this call.
Down to the river we go. It's an ace. Doesn't change anything.
Well, Scott can only win by betting now. And so if he chooses to bet, the real decision is about sizing.
3 million.
And he's going way over pot. He's betting 3 million. Now, I will say, Vince, that when you go that big over pot, it tends to polarize your range towards very strong and very weak hands. So FARAZ here with bottom pair is actually considering this. He's saying, well, if you have a really strong hand, how many combinations can you really have here? There's flushes and maybe a jack 10 or a 5-6 or something. But I don't think you're just betting 1.5x pot with a bare ace.
FARAZ would be a hero if he should do it.
Oh, wow.
He's going for the hero here, and he's going to love himself.
My goodness.
Just makes a tremendous call.
Scott's eyes just hit the ceiling.
That's just beautiful. That is a great, great call. Plays mostly online. Only played this tournament the last minute because his buddy said, you got to play it. Give it a shot. And here he is with an opportunity to take home the title.
Well, same thing happened to Art Papazian earlier this season, and he ended up winning the Legends of Poker. Tell you what, Vince, next time I'm thinking about playing a poker tournament, I'm going to refuse until my friends convince me.
That's nice. The flop's at ace 7-6. Now they both have 6s here on this flop.
Both of them with a backdoor straight draw. Scott's comes with a backdoor flush draw.
Deuce of hearts on the turn. So Scott with the better kicker here. And they once again go check, check. Down to the river we go. It's an 8.
Well, both players with 4th pair now, but seeing as there's been no betting, I expect a little money to go in on the river. That's right, it's going to be $900,000 from Faraz over to Scott, who, if he makes this call, will win the pot.
Yeah, Faraz seemingly betting for value,
Yep.
and he's not going to like it. He is outkicked. And Margereson will take that pot down. Okay, and now the antes are 100,000, and the blinds are 3 and 600,000.
They're really getting up there now, Vince. Faraz has 18 million, but that's only good for 30 blinds at these stakes.
All right, it's on Faraz. He is going to just call with an 8-6. And Scott has a queen-6, says, let's go. And here's the flop. It's a 6-4-4. So they both catch 6s again.
Scott with the superior kicker, Faraz with the backdoor straight draw.
But Faraz is going to bet at 600.
$1.8.
Well, Scott's going to make it 1.8 now.
And Faraz is aware that many of Scott's check raises here are draws, and so he calls in position with the 6 and the backdoor draws.
Let's see what happens on 4th Street. 7 of clubs.
Well, that card actually pairs a number of the draws that Scott could potentially be check raising with, and so he checks over to Faraz, who checks behind, and we see a queen of clubs on the river that's going to make Scott feel pretty good about where he is in this hand.
Yep.
So now the question is, how much do you want to bet and try and get out of Faraz? What will convince Faraz that you have a diamond draw that is missed and is trying to take the pot away from him?
3.2.
Scott decides it's 3.2 million.
He'd love to get this call and absolutely crush Faraz.
Well, Faraz got sticky with bottom pair earlier in this heads-up match on the river. Is he going to get sticky again and end up paying off Scott? No, he makes a good fold.
Yeah, he does. He gets away with that. He figures it out. Scott Margereson taking down the pot. Not quite as much as he wanted, but it'll do.
Blinds and antes are so big now that you have to include a plaque in your big blind.
That is pretty big. Okay, Scott this time with a queen jack.
All in.
And he is just going to say all in.
Yeah, he just rips it in for Faraz's 25 blinds. Faraz says, I got ace-8 suited. That's a clear call.
It's about time we're getting all in. It's about time we're getting all in.
Yeah, Faraz Jaka out in front with his ace-8 of clubs to turn this thing around.
Do you pot this a little bit? Hope you lose.
Don't lose. Come on. Yeah. Gotta be something wrong with me.
No, obviously.
Scott 5 cards away from this championship. Faraz wants to double up. What's going to happen?
Now, one of these guys is going to be a first-time WPT champion, and 2 pair on the flop for Scott.
Unbelievable.
Faraz now drawing to a 10, running clubs or running 2 pair. Otherwise, Scott is your champion in his first ever WPT cash.
2 cards away from the championship, and it's going to work out there. 7 of hearts.
Okay, now only a 10 would rob Scott of this pot and his first live title.
That's right. The 4 outer.
It's an ace! And that's not going to do it for Faraz. He'll make top pair, but Scott's 2 pair are going to hold up, and he is your champion at the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Showdown.
Yeah, great effort by Scott Margereson taking down Faraz Jaka.